I'm Atrell Nashar in Washington, where economists are breathing a sigh of relief. The last jobs report of the year is out, and it shows the economy added 227,000 jobs in November. The unemployment rate stayed about the same at 4.2%. November brought a much-hoped-for rebound in the labor market after an October strained by hurricanes and a Boeing strike.
This month's report is much more consistent with what we've seen throughout the year, which is a story of continued growth.
The sectors adding the most jobs last month: healthcare, leisure and hospitality, and government.
The labor market is better, and the downside risks appear to be less in the labor market.
This latest jobs report will factor into the Federal Reserve's upcoming decision on whether to cut interest rates and by how much when they kick off their next two-day meeting December 17th. Interest rate traders see about an 87% probability that the Fed will cut its target rate by a quarter point. Consumer and wholesale inflation reports out next week will also play into their decision. Here's what Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee said earlier this week.
The long arc, we've made clear progress in getting inflation down. Over the next year, it feels to me like rates come down a fair amount from where they are now. But we meet every 6 weeks because the conditions change.
Members of the Fed are very aware that changing economic conditions will soon have a lot to do with the new Trump administration and a Republican-controlled Congress. Now, the Fed is apolitical, so they generally don't weigh in on fiscal policy, but Chair Jerome Powell is saying this.
The U.S. federal budget is on an unsustainable path. The debt is not at an unsustainable level, but the path is unsustainable. We don't need to pay the debt down. We don't need to balance the budget. We just need the economy to grow faster than the debt, and that's not happening. We're running very large budget deficits at a time of full employment and strong growth.
It's hardly a novel idea. Administration after administration has vowed to shrink deficits, including the incoming one. But doing it requires tough and often unpopular decisions like cutting government programs and raising taxes. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrell Nashar reporting.